Thanks for joining us for an extended 6 p.m. newscast as we continue to track this winter storm in the Carolinas and Georgia.
It is a live Super Doppler 4 alert day. Snow and now ice have been falling across the area. Video here from downtown Greenville and downtown Anderson. We will continue our live team coverage in just a few moments.
But first, let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice with the latest. Chris.
I've been monitoring the radar trends, and it looks like snow's trying to beat back out that ice, the sleet, the freezing rain that's battling us out across the area right now. There's still several more hours of this winter storm to go. And look at this. It's all-encompassing, impacting most of the state of South Carolina around I-20 northbound all the way through Raleigh. In fact, every single county in North Carolina under a winter storm warning except for New Hanover County, which is Wilmington over there. And then every single county in South Carolina except for Beaufort from Hilton Head and then Horry up toward Myrtle Beach is under some kind of winter weather advisory or warning in the upstate through South Carolina. Now here we go as we look in closer on live Super Doppler 4. Snow's trying to battle back out some of that freezing rain. I can tell you, looking at our live Super Doppler 4, this purple here indicates the freezing rain, and it's really trying to be a battle right here through Greenville, Greer, up through Lawrence, stretching back into Anderson County. Let's put this in motion here as it's trying as it may, snowing and picking, snowing in TR now up through Paris Mountain, Lake Robinson. My friends up there, you have to let me know. Let me know what you're seeing there. It looks like you're getting some more snow up toward Inman and Lyman, Spartanburg, Cherokee County. Looks like snow's trying to develop back across the area, at least at the higher levels of the atmosphere. We'll have to wait and see. There's more of this. This is almost guaranteed snow. That comes in later on this evening as it's on the backside, the colder side of this system that doesn't have the influence of this little bubble of warm air that's in the middle parts of the atmosphere over us right now. Like I said, we're all under a winter storm warning, which means conditions are favorable for ice or snow all the way through the overnight hours. Our SkyCam network shows slow goes of it. Look at that, 385 is now down to a crawl. That tells you there's something out there those folks are seeing, and they are taking it easy as they should be. Okay, coming up, we'll map out how much longer this will last and where temperatures go from here.
Chris, thank you. Turning to a live look now of our roads. Our photojournalist Jared McDarris is on Academy Street in downtown Greenville, and you could just see the reflection off of the lights off the road. It is icy out there, so you want to be very, very careful and take things very slow if you have to be out there. If not, just sit at home, stay safe and warm. Now to Greenville County, our Rashad Williams joins us live from Travelers Rest.
Rashad, you just heard Chris a moment ago talk about how snow is trying to get back into Travelers Rest. Are you seeing any snow now?
And I was going to address that as well. So I know Chris said that snow is making its way back here. We may be on the wrong side. I think the rain is winning right now. And Chris said different parts of this wintry mix, you may see more than others. So right now it is raining, pretty steady downpour. I'm not sure how much of that you can actually see. Quick side note as well, the rain is really cold, so not fun for anyone. The fun part is over from the snowfalls earlier today. A quick look here, we've got a bush and some of the snow that's left over that has turned to ice. You can see it's pretty hard and packed in there. Yeah, earlier we were doing this, the snow is kind of fluffing right off, but the ice there is sticking to it. A quick look at the roadways. Maybe you have a better idea as to how consistent this downpour is. You can see the rain kind of hitting the roads. And as we progress through the night, as the temperatures drop, we are seeing more of these slick glazed spots on the roadways, of course, an indicator of the potential for ice and puddles as well. Still a slushy mix. Also in the last 5 to 10 minutes, we saw a snowplow come through, a truck came through to further clear off some of the roads for travel, but really not seeing a lot of people out driving right now at this hour. It seems like people have gone inside. They realize, again, the fun part is over. So now we are just here, and we'll continue to bring you updates as the rain continues to pour on us.
Rashad, thank you very much. Now let's go from down the road from TR to downtown Greenville.
Our Mark Whiteman joins us live now. Mark, many people out and about along Main Street, or is it just you?
No, it feels like it's just about us at this point, Carol. I want to echo a lot of what I just heard Rashad talking about in Travelers Rest. That is a lot of what we are experiencing and seeing in downtown Greenville as well. Just that steady, cold rain, not many folks out on the roads. Most of the businesses behind me down Main Street are closed. A lot of dark buildings, not seeing a whole lot of foot traffic out and about in downtown Greenville right about now. As we heard Rashad say it, and I want to just echo it again. I think it's so accurate. We all had a great time, and the fun in the snow this afternoon, fun in the sun, but as the sun has set, we've just been beset by a really cold, freezing rain that we're just continuing to feel outside. So most folks have been smart. They've gotten inside. They've gotten out of the rain and the snow for the evening, and now we're just sort of seeing a lot of ice in the area. A few people out walking around, but for the most part, it is all quiet on the western front here in downtown Greenville. We'll send things back to you in the studio.
Mark, thank you. We want to point out that it looks like regular rain. We see it kind of the drops bouncing on the pavement and that sort of thing. But we want to point out that this is freezing rain. The ground is very cold. So when that rain falls, it is turning to ice.
And our Maya Payton is in Anderson, and she's been showing us that all afternoon. Maya, what's the conditions like now?
Right, Nigel and Carol, I have the perfect examples of this right here where I'm standing. Okay, first of all, I want to take you, though, to this mailbox. Earlier, if you remember, if you were with us at 5 o'clock, I showed you this a couple of times. It's now rock solid. Even over here on the handle, that wasn't there before. Now rock solid, you can knock on it. Let me show you. This pole here, it looks like it has water on it. That's not water. That is ice. Slick and hard, even on the top here. Another good example, follow me here. Take a look along here. This looks like raindrops. It's not. This is ice, and I can flip some of it off if I can. You see that? That's nothing but ice that's popping off of there. Just showing you that it may look like it's just water, even coming out of your house, on your porch, the walkway. It may just look like some raindrops, but that could be ice. So just be careful if you're walking out. And I heard Mark said earlier we were having fun. We're still having fun, even though it's dark and it's a little bit more dangerous, but we're having safe fun. And Nigel, I wanted just to check in with your snowman here. He's weathering through this, this weather as best as he can. Back to you guys in Anderson County. I'm Maya Payton, WYFF News 4.
Thank you, Maya. I'll take it from here. Winter storm warning goes through the night into tomorrow morning with icy conditions. Great way of explaining it there, Maya. Everything is getting slick out there. That rain doing trouble to us because it's freezing upon hitting anything, including those roadways. All right, we'll explain the new timing of what Yuletown will see the rest of the night coming up.
Continuing winter weather coverage now and turning to Spartanburg County as the storm continues to move through.
That's where we find our Nate Stanley. He joins us live in Spartanburg. Nate.
Nigel, when I spoke to you last, I said that there wasn't a lot of precipitation. I guess I spoke too soon. In the last 10 minutes or so, it has started to pick up a little bit more. It's just, some rain, a bit of a drizzle. But as we mentioned, the temperature is getting colder. You can feel it starting to get colder. So that means that the conditions are going to start to get a little bit icier. I want to show you this real quick. This earlier today was all snow. This was covered with snow, but now we take a look at it and it's solid. This right here is all ice sitting on this pillar, as well as we've seen it on the sidewalk, as well as the streets here. The county of Spartanburg, the city of Spartanburg, warning people, if you do not need to be on the road tonight, do not be on the road tonight. Take a listen to what a spokesperson told us earlier today.
Please drive slowly, be very cognizant of your surroundings. If you're not used to driving in icy conditions, just pay attention. No cell phones, obviously. Look out for those big snow plows and the big trucks that will be out, because we have them all over the county.
A reminder there, you don't really normally think about. There are these big, heavy equipment trucks driving through the streets, so just be on the lookout for them if you need to leave for whatever reason. Most of the people here in downtown Spartanburg seem like they've gone in for the night. Not as many people walking around, driving around here. I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Oh, we still got more of this winter storm to go through, from freezing rain to snow trying to change back over. Coming up, I'll show you what your town can expect.
It was an e-learning day for kids across the area, but this is what happened when my wife tells our son it's time to come back inside and log in for class. A snowball to the window on the back door. Kids all over got to get outside and enjoy the snow earlier today. But like Chris has said, the sleet and the freezing rain has arrived.
People have been out and about in Falls Park today, sledding on the hills.
It's fun. I mean, it's really steep, so you got to kind of fall off before. I mean, there was a guy earlier just going all the way down the thing, but yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, a few hours ago, and it was mostly a snow event. People were also out building snowmen, having snowball fights, and much more.
The last snow we had was 1,090 days ago. I had a newborn that was born 11 days before that. Fast forward, she's 3 years old now. She got to see snow falling for the first time in the time that she actually remembers it, right? As we look at the satellite and radar, we've got some snow and ice across the area right now. Unfortunately, it's mainly ice in many locations. It resembles rain as it falls down, but as soon as it hits any surface, it freezes upon contact. That means those trees are getting more droopy right there. Sidewalks, decks, they look wet, but they're going to be icy, especially as we go deeper into tonight, as my low forecast is 28 degrees. You can see snow's trying to win back over in Pickens, Dacusville, Easley, even into Greenville right here, Travelers Rest as well. But upon further inspection from our Doppler radar, gives us kind of a more high resolution look here. It looks like some of this is still freezing rain across the area, but snow not out of the question before this thing shuts off around 10, 11 o'clock at night. But please, I hope you'll just stay put. The roads are a glaze of ice just about everywhere. This is going to be snow moving back in 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and we'll get an additional light accumulation on top of whatever is falling into your town. My wife said she let the dog out one more time, and the fluffy snow that was in our yard was now just kind of rock hard, frozen back over. So here we go. A winter storm warning for almost all of us in the Carolinas and Georgia. You can see the snow and the ice reflecting that light back up into the sky. Kind of pretty right there in Greenville, but we know it's so dangerous. Notice how slow the drivers are going on 385. If that tells you anything, that's a 65-mile-per-hour drive right there. Folks are barely going 30 miles per hour from my guesstimation. That's not a scientific guesstimation, but look at that. Those people are going slow, and that's good. But that also tells you they're seeing something or feeling something on those roads, and that's 385, folks. That's not a minor road. That is a major road. That'd probably be one of the roads that are in the best shape. Those back roads are going to be in even worse shape. As you can see right here from that same sky cam, there's Haywood Road, there's 385. Folks going at it easy right now, as they should be. It is 29 degrees in Greenville, so again, it looks like, it sounds like, it feels like on your skin rain, but when it touches any other surface besides your warm body that's 98.6 degrees, it is going to be freezing upon contact and leaving that light glaze of ice. Okay, there we go. As we go throughout the next several hours here, we've got that ice-snow mix through about 10 o'clock. By midnight, 1 o'clock, the precipitation is done. A few clouds in the morning, but look at our low, 28. That will refreeze. Any kind of slush, any kind of wetness or runoff that's on the roads, it'll freeze over, and into tomorrow, it is going to be an issue. So additional ice. We're not done with the precipitation. It's back toward Mississippi. We've got an additional 1/4 inch of ice that will be possible on top of what we have out there. Let me show you that model. Couple more hours of this mess as we continue through 8:30, 9 o'clock. A little bit of sleet, freezing rain, and snow mixing in with this stuff through 9, 10 o'clock. A little hurrah of some snow trying to roll through. And then by 11 o'clock, most of us are shutting this thing down, and we've got better weather, slightly drier weather moving back in, but those temperatures are going to be cold when you wake up. So again, 26 to 28 degrees tomorrow morning, up to 39. Icy roads will be a concern all day tomorrow, especially those back roads. Even though the sun is out, it's got to beat through about 1/4 inch of ice in many locations. If it can accomplish that, it hasn't melted the sleet yet. If it accomplishes that, it's still got to get to the snow. Either way, there's still going to be stuff on the roads on Sunday, and we get up to 38 for a high. That's not very much after that 19-degree low, and then we do it again Monday morning, 21. I'm hoping that Monday might be okay if we can dry things back out, but don't be surprised if some of those back roads are still bad and we get some delays or some closings on Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it is clear, but it is oh so cold. Lows in the upstate in the teens, highs in the 30s. In western North Carolina, we've got live Super Doppler 4 impact days as we go throughout the next several days here, with teens warming up to around 40. But look at Tuesday, a high of only 33. Wednesday's only topping out at 32.
Continuing winter storm covered, snow and ice falling across the region tonight.
Meteorologist Griffin Hardy is outside WYFF News 4. Griffin, what are snow totals looking like in Greenville, or is that the wrong question to ask? Are we talking about rain totals?
Well, now we're talking about ice totals for the most part, Carol. A lot of that snow that we started off the day with, which came into Greenville around 11 a.m., started transitioning into sleet around 3:30 in the afternoon. And for most of the time since around 4 o'clock this afternoon, it's mostly been freezing rain. We've got a little science experiment to kind of demonstrate what freezing rain is. So Chris showed this a little bit earlier. Freezing rain is snow that melts as it's coming down towards the ground. Snow forms way high up in the clouds, around 15,000 feet. And usually in setups like this, you get a warm layer where temperatures are above freezing. That's what's happening here. Once it moves through that warm layer, the snow melts. But down at the surface, still right now, temperatures are 29 degrees outside. So it's still freezing at the surface. So as soon as the rain hits, it freezes. And that's exactly what's happening here. You got this thin little layer of ice on top of the pipe here. All these droplets that are trying to drip down to the ground, they're freezing as they're doing so. So you're getting little icicles that are forming. I will say it's not totally frozen solid, but you've got little droplets here that are in the process of freezing. And this is exactly what's going to happen tonight on possibly roads that aren't as drived upon, sidewalks. Usually in extreme ice events, it starts to weigh down on trees and power lines. We're going to get kind of close to that level later on tonight in parts of our area. Doesn't look like a huge ice storm, but it will be enough to where we definitely recommend that you don't go out and drive if you can help it. That goes for tonight as well as early tomorrow morning. And again, for tomorrow afternoon, once all this clears out, there will be sunshine and temperatures will briefly get above freezing in the afternoon as we get up into the upper 30s and low 40s. So some of this will likely melt away, but there's still that possibility that it could refreeze again heading into tomorrow night and early Sunday morning. Hence why the driving conditions are just not the best at the moment in the upstate. And we're getting some combination of snow, sleet, and freezing rain at the moment, and that will continue for roughly the next 5 or 6 hours before the system fully clears the area. So we'll keep you posted on any potential road issues that are happening out there as more of this winter storm continues to work its way through our area. For now, reporting live in Greenville, meteorologist Griffin Hardy. I'll toss it over to you.
Thank you, Griffin. Let's take a closer look at just how much more that system is left behind us here. You've got that's over us right now. Then there's more back through northeast Georgia. There's snow on the backside of this. The low itself somewhere in here. So as it rolls through us and that wind can shift away from the south and shift more to a northeast wind, we're going to get rid of that warm bubble. It's a pesky thing, right? I mean, we're so cold here at the surface, 29 degrees in most locations. Why can't it just be fluffy snow? Well, it's because of that warm bubble trapped up. Well, when the wind shifts to the north like it is on this side of the system, which will roll through our area after, say, 9 o'clock, we will get snow to try to break back out in some areas. And sometimes that last little hurrah can be good enough for a little bit of accumulation, similar to this morning, where you get a quick burst of snow coats the ground. So let's hope for that. Kids wake up to some fresh powder, but be careful. That dusty powder that maybe is an inch deep will be on top of just pure ice, So please be careful anywhere you're out tomorrow, walking around. Just try to stay put tomorrow, especially if you got to grab onto anything. Those handrails are going to be slick. Your walkways are going to be slick. And then we're going to be seeing another refreeze tomorrow night. We'll send things back to Nigel and Carol.
Thank you, Chris. We thank you for watching WYFF News 4 at 6. We will continue our live coverage next at 7 o'clock.
And remember, you can find the latest up-to-date information about all the weather events happening pretty much in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia on our website, WYFF4.com, and our WYFF4 mobile app. As we give you a look outside, we'll be right back. Before Alert Day, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Georgia are under states of emergency due to the winter weather. And we have seen snow and ice conditions pick up all afternoon. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice, who's been tracking the storm for days. Chris, ice, big concern right now?
Yeah, it is, because it looks like it's raining outside, but with temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, what's happening here is that's freezing on contact. We're getting what's called freezing rain, and that's weighing down trees. freeze that's making travel very treacherous just about anywhere you go. A look in closer on the satellite and radar here. We've got ice spreading across the entire area right here from Anderson to Lounsville to Abbeville to Greenville. There's trying to be a little bit of snow mixed in here, but so far the freezing rain is winning out. It's that bubble of warm air in the middle parts of the atmosphere that as that snow falls down, hits that bubble, it melts and then looks like rain, but as soon as it hits a surface, it freezes. So your deck, your sidewalk, even that fluffy snow that was out there earlier is not so fluffy no more. It is hard and it is rock hard, and it will make it very, very slippery out. Now, Live Super Doppler 4 is analyzing this as well, and it's showing really no let up to this freezing rain that's across the area. Back toward the west, my hopes are we'll be able to get in on some of this snow that's back through Atlanta Metro as it tries to swing into the area. Some scattered snow showers will be a nice end to this, but that's about it as we are seeing things kind of wind down 10, 11 o'clock. Winter storm warning, though, until 7 a.m. for those slick conditions. You can see the light from the city reflecting off the icy, snowy surface in Greenville. 32 in Anderson, 27 in Asheville. It's 32 and wet there in Lawrence with icy conditions. You can see folks taking it easy on 385 and Haywood Road. I mean, we're crawling right there. Please be careful pulling out wherever you're going right here off and around Haywood Mall. Things are very, very icy out at the moment. 31 in Pickens. It's 30 in Spartanburg, 28 right now in Hendersonville. Over the next few hours, some snow trying to mix back in through about 11 o'clock. Then things shut off very quickly as this fast-moving system pulls away towards Charlotte. Bad news is we dropped down to 26, 27 degrees tonight. So as that happens, we'll refreeze a lot of that slush out there. Coming up, I'll map out where we go the rest of the weekend.
Thank you, Chris. We continue to follow a crash in Greenville County. A section of State Park Road is closed due to road conditions turning slick. Officials said several vehicles slid right off the road near the Piney Mountain Road intersection. That's a look there from late this afternoon.
We are told no one was seriously hurt, but first responders say they're having trouble getting to the area because of those icy conditions. Again, this video was from earlier today. Authorities at the scene say they are also closing Altamont Road because of the weather. We continue our live team coverage tonight in Greenville County.
Our Rashad Williams joins us live from Travelers Rest. Rashad, last time we talked to you, it was raining. What's happening now?
Yeah, we have a light, steady flow of freezing rain. The smile is on my face, but I got to tell you, it hurts out here. I am in layers, but my face is starting to get cold. My mouth is starting to get stiff here, so I'm going to do my best to articulate through this live hit. A brief look at what we're seeing. We've been following some of the snow turning into ice as the temperatures continue to drop. I'm sure you can hear that there on this tin roof. Nice and flaky there. No more of the soft, fluffy stuff. Really quick, I want to give you a look here right past this fence. Just complete blankets of snow. All this was grass when we got here to Travelers Rest a few hours ago. So I imagine with the temperatures being cold, we'll see it like this for a few days as the sun comes out to warm things up as the days progress to bring us the grass back. One more look at the sidewalk as well. We've got more crunchiness here, less of the slushy stuff because, again, as it gets colder, this stiffens up here. So if you have to come outside, just watch your step. My advice is always to kind of dig your heels in. That's what I learned spending a few years up in Wisconsin. Carol, you're from Michigan. Nigel, you're from Ohio, so you guys know how it goes out here. But for those experiencing this for the first time, again, watch your step. If you have to get behind the wheel and drive, just take some extra time, give the car in front of you some extra space, and keep an eye out for some of those slick spots. The black ice may be hard to see, so that's why, again, we advise you to just take your time and get to where you're going. I promise you, you will get there. It may just take a little bit longer. We'll check in back with you soon, but for now, live in Travelers Rest, Rashad Williams, WYFF News 4.
Excellent advice, Rashad. Thank you very much. Let's head up the mountain now. A snowy evening in Asheville.
This says people continue to recover from Hurricane Helene. It's like adding insult to injury there. Our Ray Urena joins us live now. Ray, it has basically stayed snowy up there, right? You're not seeing the freezing rain, we hope?
Well, Carol, actually it has not, and the precipitation has stopped. We haven't seen snow here since about 5:30, 5 o'clock hour is the last time we've seen that. And then we have seen some sleet and wintry mix, and that's coated all the sidewalks and the roads with ice. Just as a demonstration, do you remember this thermometer that we used? I remember I have to put it on this side, right? So when I put it down on this side, it's perfectly fine. But if I put it down this side, it'll just walk on its own all the way down the sidewalk, and I have to walk all the way down here just to catch it. That just shows the amount of ice that is currently on some of the sidewalks here in Asheville. Now, earlier today we spoke to a group of women who are from here, as some people are struggling with the icy roads, especially some pickup trucks that may not have anything in their beds. One of them just literally fishtailed right behind me. But we spoke to a group of people earlier today while the snow was indeed falling.
I'm loving the snow. I'm enjoying it. It's pretty to look at, so I'm happy with it.
Letting have a snowball fight and just have a good time inside. Maybe have a fire too. So.
And because of those slippery conditions, Asheville City Fire says there has been several motor vehicle accidents throughout the area. We're seeing more traffic coming through. These people are taking their time, making sure that they are not slipping and sliding all over the roads. And and I just checked drivenc.gov. That's where you can see the snow and ice conditions. They say the majority of the roads here in Buncombe County, such as the interstate and all secondary roads, are partially covered with snow and ice. Reporting live in Asheville, Ray Reyna, WYFF News 4.
Ray, thank you. Now let's turn to Anderson County. Snow started falling there this morning around 9 o'clock.
Our Maya Payton joins us live from Anderson. And Maya, you've done a great job showing us the icy conditions that have shown up on places like mailboxes and fences.
And my snowman.
And Nigel's snowman. But how are the roads looking right now?
Well, Nigel and Carol, you know, I got more to show you here. And Nigel, your snowman is making it through. Take a look here. Over here on this meter box here, you can see how ice is forming. All of it, though, it's easy to come off. So it's holding up, but not really well. But then when it's closer to the ground, like look here, all of this looks like it's wet. It's not. Let me take my scraper here and I'll prove to you that this is just not water. This is freezing rain. Look at all that. Even here collected on here too. Look at that. Ice coming up. Now, my photographer and I, we have a theory experiment. We don't know if it's going to work, but we're going to leave our tripod out. And our next hit, we're going to see how much ice just accumulates on the tripod. So we'll see, just so that you guys can get a time frame of how quickly ice can just, or rain, freezing rain can fall and then connect with hard surfaces and make it, you know, it's pretty stiff. Also do want to show, well, I don't know if we can really show, but take a look here. You can see on the utility lines here that there are a lot of ice. The light went out. Okay, well, we'll try to do it next go around, but you can see the ice is forming on there as well. And that is what responders here in Anderson County, they are looking at that because that will tell them whether or not there will be some power outages going into the night and into the morning. As of now, no power outages here in Anderson County. Also told by the Anderson Emergency Management that thankfully there has not been any more accidents in Anderson County. Earlier today, there were quite a few in Anderson County, so that's good news. And you guys, if you are on the roads, just be super, super careful, as we all have told you throughout the night. In Anderson County, I'm Maya Payton, WYFF News 4.
Thank you, Maya. We heard the traffic behind her, and the advice is go slow if you have to go out at all. So from Anderson to Spartanburg now, where our Nate Stanley has been all afternoon.
Nate, what conditions there are? You said last time during the last hit it stopped raining. What's it like right now?
Yep. Well, it seems like every single time I go live now, the weather changes again. We are now seeing more precipitation, seeing more of this freezing rain, even in the last, 2 minutes before you guys tossed it to us out here. It started to pick up again. And once again, it's that freezing rain. It's not the snow that we saw earlier. It's creating an interesting reaction here on the ground. I'll show you. It's a slush. That's the word we keep using. You see this? It's just snowy, it's melty, it's slippery. We can take a look down the street here, and you can see some of those accumulations of the snow, the rain, the ice, just making for a really slippery situation, but still not stopping people from hanging out here in Spartanburg. We've seen some families coming to the different restaurants here, couples walking in and out, people trying to get in for the afternoon. And as we've been talking about, if you're going to get out, Carol, you mentioned it a few minutes ago, be safe, be cautious, as we just showed you the conditions, very slippery on the roads today. As a reminder, once again, if you're going to leave, be safe. Reporting in Spartanburg, Nate Stanley, WYFF News 4.
Yeah, we're hanging out in downtown Greenville. It is awfully quiet out as the freezing rain continues to come down. We're going to check in on conditions here in downtown Greenville coming up on the other side of the break.
Yeah, watching that forecast over the next few hours, a little bit more of that freezing rain, sleet, snow mix through about 11 o'clock. Then things simmer down. We'll wake up to the 20s tomorrow. Coming up, I'll show you the rest of the weekend.
Continuing coverage now, a snowy day across the upstate, and the wintry mix is expected to continue into the evening.
And the wintry mix is what has folks concerned. Our Mark Whiteman is in downtown Greenville tonight. Mark, we saw some traffic behind you last time we saw you. What does it look like now?
Yeah, very much the same. Fortunately, that freezing rain, Carol and Nigel, has really slowed down. It was coming down pretty heavy earlier. It is still consistent, but it's coming down at a much slower rate. And just wanted to show you what we're looking at in downtown Greenville right now. There are a few cars out on the roads. The roads do still look good, but they are obviously getting increasingly slick. But for the most part, really not seeing a ton of foot traffic. There are a couple restaurants open down Main Street, but for the most part, most of the businesses in the area are closed down for the night. And I do want to show you something here. You can see this entire area earlier, this was all covered in snow. It has pretty much transitioned exclusively into ice at this point as that freezing rain continues to fall. And we also have a WYFF News 4 umbrella out here that we've been using to keep the camera dry between our live hits, and just want to show you what it looks like on the top of this thing. You know, when you typically flick an umbrella, right, you'd see the raindrops coming off. Well, you see it all just frozen on there, clinging on there. Very cold. It's frozen, very crunchy, and as you can see, it's totally stuck there right about now. So that's what we are continuing to experience here in downtown Greenville. Fortunately, as I mentioned, that freezing rain has slowed down, but we're going to continue to stay out here. And if you don't have to be out on the roads, there's no reason to be out on the roads. It's a great night to stay inside, stay bundled up, continue watching WYFF News 4 as we will take you all the way through this evening as we continue to bring you updates about what we are seeing and experiencing all across the upstate. But for now, in downtown Greenville, I'm Mark Whiteman, WYFF News 4.
Yeah, as we look out, we got a couple more hours of this mess. Sleet, freezing rain, maybe even some snow on the backside of this thing. Coming up, I'll show you new timing and totals for your town.
As the snow has fallen today, we have really enjoyed getting to see the photos from you across the upstate.
Our Jane Robilo joins us from the newsroom with a look at some of the snow day footage. Jane.
Well, Nigel and Carol, people were really loving it out in the snow today. Of course, it's wet now and it's cold and people have gone inside, but we really appreciate those photographs coming in from when it was light and fluffy. People had fun, including their pets. They had a great time too. Let's show you what they were up to. On the left of your screen, you'll see Gruner. Gruner is from Elberton, Georgia. Becky and Tom Roberts say their pup just loves the snow. Then on the right-hand side of your screen, that's a golden retriever. His name is Tate. Tate is from Fountain Inn, enjoying the snow today, sent to us by Kate Wilson. Both of those dogs really loving that fluffy stuff that hasn't been seen in some time. Wanda Moody shared this beautiful photo of birds perched on a snowy tree. And then we go to Easley. Miss Olivia enjoying a snow day. Big smile on her face. And of course, we love seeing those pictures. Keep them coming in to us. Send them to the WYFF4 Facebook page through Facebook Messenger. We'll see if we can put your pictures on TV. And Chris, I know that this first snow in 3 years, your daughter Olivia, first time she's seen snow was today.
11 years old for the last one. I don't think her eyes quite opened up all the way for that yet. Oh, I remember bringing her home from the hospital and thinking, it's going to snow in a few days. That was a big one back in 2022. She got to get real excited this morning before I went to work. We had some fun with that. Those big snowflakes this morning were so pretty. Unfortunately, it changed over to an ice storm, and that's been a mess since about 2 o'clock today. And that's unfortunately what we're left with right now is more of that ice, that pink settling in all across the area here. Spartanburg to Gaffney, trying to hold on a little bit of snow across the upstate. In the mountains, it has been snow for the most part here. Anderson to Lounsville, we got sleet, freezing rain. Back toward the west, a little bit more snow is trying to work into the area here. This is going to try to roll through between now and about 11 o'clock. A winter storm warning in effect for every single county in North Carolina except for New Hanover County near Wilmington. In South Carolina, every single county except for the immediate coastline is under some winter advisory or alert. Look at how the light is reflecting off of the ice and the snow in Greenville, and folks are driving really slow. In fact, let's pull that camera up bigger. There's the Haywood Road overpass right there, and there's 385. Folks are going a little bit slower right there, and you can see the sheen off of the pavement right there. It's just icy, folks. Please don't be out if you don't have to. Temperatures are around freezing or just below it, so anything that does fall is sticking. As we go throughout the next 12 hours, temperatures will continue to drop down to the upper 20s tonight as that precipitation begins to end around 11 o'clock for us in most communities. There's the potential there for some of us to get a little bit more ice. 1/10 of an inch to about 1/4 of an inch of ice is not out of the question as we continue to see this last batch of moisture move through over the next 3 hours. As you can see, the latest computer model shows we've got the thick of that ice still happening through about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then by 10, 11 o'clock, we've still got some snow trying to punch into the area, but things are slowing down, things are simmering down after that, and we're slowly climbing out of this. By 11 o'clock, things are looking better across the area, and then by midnight, this is all pushed out, and we've got better weather moving our way. So the 4-day looks like this. We're down to 26 degrees tonight, so any kind of slush that's out there, wetness on the roadways, will make roads just impassable in the morning, so please hold tight where you're at tomorrow. Down to 19 for Sunday morning, up to 38 degrees. And then Monday morning, we're down to 21 and up to 46 degrees with some black ice being possible that morning as well. But we'll warm things back up for a couple of days in the 40s before we cool back down. Look at that. Lows back into the teens in the upstate with highs in the 30s. In western North Carolina, we got a couple of live Super Doppler 4 impact days with this slush and this mess trying to refreeze back over each night with highs in the low 40s by Sunday, Monday. And then going into early next week, we got highs back near freezing.
Continuing our winter storm coverage, snow and ice falling across the area tonight.
Meteorologist Griffin Hardy is outside WYFF News 4 in the front yard there. Griffin, what are snow totals looking like in Greenville, and perhaps more importantly, the ice totals?
So the snow totals ended up being slightly lighter than expected because honestly, this is going to be ending up more as an ice event than a snow event. And here's the evidence of it. We brought a thermometer out from the newsroom, and this is what freezing rain does. It as soon as it hits stuff, it freezes. You got this little layer of ice that's on top of it. Admittedly, it's not frozen solid, but that's ice that's right there that just has accumulated on the thermometer here. And the reason that happens oftentimes is that the temperatures are hovering right around freezing or just above freezing, just above the surface. Here's the main difference between the 3 types of precipitation that we're getting kind of all at once right now: snow, sleet, and freezing rain. So snow, it's pretty easy to understand. It forms pretty high up in the clouds, around 15,000 feet. If you're below freezing all the way down to the ground, it's going to fall as snow. Pretty simple. Sleet is a little different, where you have a warm layer above the surface where temperatures are above freezing. As the snow melts, it melts. As the snow falls, it melts partially, then refreezes as it hits the ground. That's when you have those ice pellets that are falling down along with the snow oftentimes. Freezing rain is different, and it's the worst. That's where you have a bigger melting layer, and then the rain, as soon as it hits stuff, it freezes, and that's exactly what we have right now across most of the area, and that's what's causing the major problems on the roadways. So make sure you avoid driving as much as you can later on tonight and early tomorrow morning. We'll have more on this coming up in just a few minutes. For now, reporting live in Greenville, meteorologist Griffin Hardy. I'll send it back to you.
Griffin, thank you. Taking a live look from our Hilton Greenville Skycam. I mean, that is just a beautiful shot with the lights reflecting and the thick, wet air in the air. We will continue to have team coverage of the winter weather from our area, from all over our area, coming up in just a couple minutes. Stay with us.
Live, local, breaking news. This is WYFF News 4.
Thank you for staying with us as we continue to track this winter storm in the Carolinas and Georgia.
It is a live Super Doppler 4 alert day. Snow and freezing rain have been falling all afternoon across the area. Video here from downtown Greenville and downtown Anderson. We will continue our live team coverage in just a few minutes.
But first, let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Justice. He has been busy all day long following this storm's every single move. And Chris, what are the totals looking like so far?
You know, we got ice, we got snow, we've got a little bit of everything around the area, and unfortunately this glaze of ice is really centering up on everybody right now, and a little bit more of this storm to go here. We've got another 2 hours or so before this thing really begins to shift down into another gear. We've got hard freezing rain happening right now. What that means is it looks like heavy rain outside, but it's not. What it does is once it hits a surface, it freezes on contact, and that allows it to make that layer of ice on just about anything. Snow is trying to win out in some areas, but according to Live Super Doppler 4, our further analysis here shows even though it's happening right there at the upper parts of the atmosphere, it's not quite reaching the ground as snow because we got that little warm bubble just above our heads. There is the chance for some snow on the backside of this thing as the winds shift around to the north. The actual low is going to roll through, and then we shift away from that stubborn southerly wind, which gives us that little bubble of warm air, and we get that last chance for a little dusting to an inch in some locations. Winter storm warning goes until 7 a.m. tomorrow for almost every single county in North Carolina and the majority of counties in South Carolina. 30 degrees in Greenville, 33 in Anderson, it's 32 in Lawrence. Freezing rain happening right now across Greenville, and you can see just from the looks of it, ground cover, that glaze looks so dangerous there. Cars are going slowly here. I've not seen anybody going really fast here across 385 up or down going toward Woodruff Road. It is an icy, slushy mess outside, and I expect these temperatures at around 30 degrees to cool down to the mid-20s tonight. So a hard freeze tonight will freeze any of that slush over into a mess tomorrow morning. Coming up, I'll map out how long this pattern will last.
Chris, thank you. We begin our live reports tonight at 7:30 in Asheville. The city still recovering from Hurricane Helene.
And now this, our Ray Urena has been in the mountains all afternoon. Ray, conditions about the same as last time we talked to you? Are you seeing more snow, any freezing rain?
Carol, since you came back to us about half an hour ago, the wind has picked up. It has stopped. There's no precipitation at all, but instead the wind has picked up. But before this falls over again, I'm going to have Harrison point down to some of the accumulation. We're going to say, I'm actually going to hold this yardstick because it's going to fall down again. But we're seeing about an inch of accumulation on this part of the sidewalk that has been untouched all day. And you mentioned Hurricane Helene a little bit ago. That is one of the key worries for NCDOT as they were preparing for the storm, is just the amount of debris that still remains from the storm. 106 days now since that storm, and now we have these ice accumulations. We spoke to one person earlier today about that debris and the dangers that it could still cause.
That's a factor. I know on like the on-ramp onto 240 out of town here, there's still a big debris pile that it cuts into the lane a little bit, you know, things like that, right? Like you've just got less room to work with.
Less room to work with and more dangers. Asheville City Fire says that they have responded to multiple car accidents throughout the day due to the slick conditions. It's something to keep an eye on right now. And if you're watching this, there are 30 minutes left for people to go into a Code Purple shelter here in Asheville and Buncombe County. Reporting live in Asheville, Ray Urena, WYFF News 4.
Ray, thank you. Now to Greenville County. Our Rashad Williams joins us live in the northern section of the county from Travelers Rest.
Rashad, last time we talked to you, you were freezing cold. That hasn't improved, has it?
It has not improved. My face is still cold. I did get to sit in the car for a little bit, so feeling better at this point. We have light freezing rain coming down, but let's do a little story time with Rashad. We just had a guy walk by on the other side of the street, and of course they see a camera, they like to yell. He said, "Hey, this is not that bad, is it?" So I just kind of nodded, and he proceeded to walk. And as he was walking, I looked over, and it looked like he was imitating James Brown. His legs were going side to side. He was trying to keep his footing, and he fell. And he was walking his dog, and he blamed the dog. He is okay, so that's why I'm laughing at this point. But that is just a reminder that the sidewalks are slick, the roads are slick. There's a lot of ice here. Again, a lot of precipitation that has fallen over the last few hours, making this really slippery. One more thing I want to show you here on this light here in downtown. This goes to show some of the rain that is freezing on surfaces at this point. So we have some icicles there, a visual representation of how cold it is out here. And I think we can't say this enough. Once you come outside, if you have to go on the roadways as well, just take your time. We're still seeing a lot of slush, a lot of ice, and a lot of slippery spots for that commute. So if you can stay inside, make sure you do that. We'll continue to bring you the best coverage here across the upstate and North Carolina. We'll send it back to you live in Travelers Rest. Rashad Williams, WYFF News 4.
Happy that man's okay, but story time with Rashad,
you never know what you're going to get.
Amazing. All right, let's go from down the road from TR to downtown Greenville.
Our Mark Whiteman joins us live now. Mark, many people out and about earlier, but that has thinned out significantly, hasn't it?
Yeah, you can say that again, Carol. And I just want to co-sign on what you guys just said. If we can green light story time with Rashad, I'd be down to watch a whole lot of that. I don't know if I've got story time with Mark with you right now, but I will tell you that we are seeing, as you mentioned, Carol, almost no one out. I will say the roads in downtown, they do look good. They did a really nice job treating them earlier. This is not encouragement to get out of your house and drive around downtown Greenville if you weren't thinking about it already. For the most part, every business down Main Street entirely closed. And I showed you guys the umbrella a little bit earlier, the thing we'd been using to keep our camera and our equipment dry. Well, as you can see, we couldn't even close the umbrella up all the way, and Josh just pointed it out to me, but you have just full-on just ice chips coming off of this thing. That's how frozen this umbrella is. That's how cold the rain that we are experiencing, this freezing rain out here that we are experiencing is. And you see some Greenville County trucks driving by at the moment, but for the most part, no rain right now, no freezing rain right now. Conditions have improved. Still very, very cold, but overnight we will continue to see all this snow melt off and turn into ice as that freezing rain continues to fall. We'll send things back to you guys much warmer than we are in the studio.
Mark, thank you so much. Let's take you to Anderson County now, where we find our Maya Payton.
Maya, how are conditions where you are?
Well, it's looking pretty the same as I've showed you, Nigel and Carol. But check out this little experiment we've created. We wanted to leave this tripod out just to see, how much ice could form in about 20 to 25 minutes. And I can tell you, look right here. You can tell that this right here has formed. You can knock that off, break that off. And then here too. And it's more of a slushy ice. It's only been out here for a little while. But you can tell that it's been, look at that, all of that right there. Crouching there, all of that ice. But I also want to mention, we tried to show you last time, that even up above here, you can see on the utility lines, it started to freeze. I've talked to the emergency management director, Josh Hawkins, and he let me know. And just the last time I've talked to you, 91 power outages now reported in Anderson County, and that number could grow. A last look at this fence here. You can see all of this ice that's formed here. And this is just a look at what is to come overnight as more ice starts to form and those temperatures begin to drop. And of course, we'll keep you updated here in Anderson County. I'm Maya Payton, WYFF News 4.
I'm here in Spartanburg, where the conditions are continuing to change. We'll have more after the break.
We've got temperatures in the upper 20s to around 30 degrees. Anything that's falling right now is causing problems on the roads, elevated surfaces. Coming up, I'll map out where we go tonight.
Continuing winter weather coverage now and turning to Spartanburg County as the storm moves through.
Our Nate Stanley joins us live from Spartanburg. And Nate, how are things where you are?
Nigel, Carol, as I mentioned, things changing just about every live shot at this point. The rain, the freezing rain coming down a little bit less than it was, say, 30 minutes ago. But if we take a look at this stop sign, or this crosswalk sign, rather, you can see some icicles starting to form on top of this. As we've been saying, there's some freezing rain, some colder temperatures still in store. There's a sign of that. Also, as this rain has been coming through, it's been melting a lot of the snow. Take a look at this grate here. We've seen constant stream of rainwater coming through here, coming down the street. Still not stopping people from hanging out in downtown Spartanburg. The restaurants here, still a consistent flow of people coming in, cars driving by. As we mentioned, it is pretty slushy here. So as we've been saying all afternoon, all night, if you plan on driving, drive carefully. And if you don't need to leave the house, don't leave the house. The weather is also nice enough. I was able to make a snowball. Still, the snow is good snowball weather. That tree right there, if you see it behind us, it's about to get hit. All right, I missed it. That wasn't great. But I'll send it back to you guys in the studio. No future in the MLB for me.
Looks like the 5-0 is going to come for you back there, Nate. Man, you got blue lit right there. All right, satellite and radar shows we've got some snow, some ice, more to be had back toward the west. We'll track it for you coming up.
All right, we're expecting some more sleet throughout the night, but it was an e-learning day for kids across the area. And this is what happened when my wife tells our son it's time to come back inside and log in for class. Snowball straight to the back window. Kids all over got to get outside and enjoy the snow earlier today. But like Chris said, the sleet has arrived and most people headed inside.
Appreciate the slow motion there. People have been out and about in Falls Park today, sledding on the hills.
It's fun. I mean, it's really steep, so you got to kind of fall off before. I mean, there was a guy earlier just going all the way down the thing. But yeah, it's really fun.
People were also out building snowmen, having snowball fights, and much more until everything switched over to that freezing rain.
We've got freezing rain that looks to last through the entirety of this storm. Snow's trying to wind back out, but it doesn't seem like it's actually reaching the surface. There's a little bubble of warm air just above our heads. How annoying is that, right? This thing was starting off so pretty. We had that fluffy snow that had covered the ground in many areas, and then came the ice, and the ice has just been plaguing our area. So I turned on live Super Doppler 4, indicating in purple right here. That's the freezing rain. Looks like rain falling down, but it's actually ice. And that could give us an additional glaze of ice tonight that could be detrimental to those roads. Last little bit of snow rolling through, that might give some of us some snow, but right now looks like the freezing rain is going to try to win out. Winter storm warning goes until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Our SkyCam network showed temperatures hovering right around that freezing mark from Greenville to Lawrence to Anderson. Asheville's at 27 with some snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Here's the view right now. Notice how the light is reflecting off the snow-covered buildings and ice-covered ground. Everything's just kind of still and quiet. A little bit of freezing rain still coming down. Drivers are taking it real slow over those overpasses. That guy's going a little fast right there. Right there. Okay. Most people are taking it slower, but look at the glaze. I mean, you can just kind of see it reflecting off. So please be careful out there as temperatures are around 30 degrees. We are going to drop 4 or 5 more degrees into the mid-20s tonight, which means whatever else falls between now and 11 o'clock will stick and it will freeze on the surfaces that are out there and will fall to the mid-20s tonight, making for a cold night and a refreeze for many of us. So additional 2/10 of ice possible in some of these locations as we go throughout the next, say, 2, 3, 4 hours here before it all shuts down around 11 o'clock. As we look at the latest computer model here, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, we've got some ice still spitting out across the area here. And as we look at temperatures, they're hanging tight right around freezing. By 11 o'clock, most of the precipitation's done. A little bit of sleet, a little bit of freezing rain. But by midnight, this is all moving off toward the east. Let me show you the 4-day. We're going to drop down to 26 tonight, so any kind of wetness or slush slush on the roads. 27 is usually my threshold for if we get a refreeze or not. And I think we're going to be below that. 39 will be the high tomorrow, so it's cold. There will be a little bit of a thawing, but it'll refreeze as we drop down to 19 Sunday morning, up to 38 on Sunday night, into the afternoon hours, I should say, down to 21 again on Monday, and then back to 46 as we go into Monday. We'll have some ice possible on Monday morning, but that should do it. We'll warm up and the sun will do its thing to kind of dry things up around the area here as we go into Monday afternoon. And then the rest of the week we're cold. We've got mid-30s for highs, teens for lows. Western North Carolina even colder than that. We got several mornings in the teens. Icy roads will be possible through Monday. Just kind of hang tight where you're at if you can. And then going into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, lows in the teens, highs in the 30s.
Continuing winter storm coverage, snow and ice falling around the region tonight.
Meteorologist Griffin Hardy is outside WYFF News 4. Griffin, you're keeping track of totals tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, Carol, that's right. A lot of the reports that have come in have shown that most places have picked up around 10th to around 0.15 inches of ice so far. What started off as a snow day for a lot of us, including here in Greenville, kind of turned into a sleet day later on around mid-afternoon. And since around 4 p.m., it's mostly been freezing rain that's coming down. That's what happens when you have a warm layer just above the surface, a couple thousand feet above us. As the snow falls, it melts, but then refreezes as soon as it hits the ground. And we've got a little science experiment to kind of show you what this looks like. So freezing rain is the biggest, most problematic type of winter weather precipitation that you can get, because this is what it does. It falls as liquid rain, but then as soon as it touches something like this pole here, it freezes. And you can see the droplets here aren't actually droplets. These are little icicles that are forming right here and there. This is what's going to form on any type of surface as soon as it falls and touches it. It can form on roads, it can form on trees, power lines, cars, all that sort of thing. This is why we are highly recommending that you do not drive tonight if you can at all help it, because the roads will almost certainly be icy. And we're mostly talking about the lower traffic roads. The higher traffic roads, like the interstates, yeah, they can be a little bit dicey, but the back roads where there aren't as many cars driving down them, those are probably going to be the more icy ones that you'll run into. So we're going to keep a really close eye on exactly how much ice accumulation that we pick up over the next couple of hours. And I hate to say it, there are already people on social media, let's call them the boo birds, that are saying, oh, you and Chris, you guys got it all wrong. Well, we expected snow and ice. That's what we got. Admittedly, a little more ice than snow, but ice is still a problem, as you can see right here. And ice will cause some slick spots for tonight. And temperatures are going to struggle to really get above freezing tomorrow. We're going to get to the upper 30s and low 40s for the high temperatures tomorrow. So for most of the morning tomorrow, a lot of this is still probably going to be frozen. So, Chris, definitely something that's worth keeping an eye on are these freezing rain totals as they continue to come in.
Yeah, and you can see what it's doing to our sky cam right here. Look at the glisten off the roads. We kind of got a bird's eye view right here. Not boo birds, but bird's view of the off ramp here from 385 to Haywood Road. Look at this. Drivers taking it slow as they should right here. Everything is just glazed over in Greenville, and it is cold. 30 degrees in Greenville, 27 in Asheville, 33 in Anderson. It is oh so cold, and the freezing rain continues for about another 2 or 3 hours, mixed with that sleet and possibly at times snow. Then we're cooling on down to the mid-20s tonight. Additional ice possibilities here. I mean, it's still raining outside, and that rain hits any surface and it freezes upon contact. An additional 2 tenths will be possible in some locations, and that continues now through about 10, 11 o'clock before things begin to shut down and we have a clearer night. So down to 26 degrees tonight, a high of 39 tomorrow. We got black ice possible on Sunday morning with that refreeze. Look at that. Anything that's running off or slushy will refreeze with a low of 19. We're down to 21 again on Monday morning, so I can't rule out black ice in some of those rural communities, the back roads, but it is a clear, cold week ahead with lows in the teens and highs in the 30s for a couple of days. But beyond this, I don't see any wintry weather for a while, which is certainly good news.
It'll be nice to see the sun again.
That's right.
It sure will.
And summer is coming, right?
Summer's coming. We got some time, but it's coming. I can't wait.
But for now, winter is here, huh? Yeah. Thanks for watching WYFF News 4. We will continue to update you at the top and bottom of each hour as this winter storm moves through.
And we will have a special version of WYFF News 4 at 11 starting at 10 o'clock tonight. You can find the latest up-to-date information on WYFF4.com and the WYFF4 mobile app.
Have a good night. Be safe.